Well, the USPSA season around here has finally started up again, so it's back to another season of match videos with a little bit of commentary on the side. This is Lawrence County Sportsmen's Association June 2020, and this is my first revolver match. It's good to be back in the saddle. Before we dive into the shooting bits, we'll go over my stage plan notation real quick. I draw a little MS Paint line to indicate the path I wanted to take. I put numbers on the path to indicate stops and targets I'm going to take from those stops. This being revolver, R means reload because there are a lot of those. And the stage plan diagrams are as planned and not as shot. I didn't always get the plan exactly right. So without further ado, we'll jump into the first stage.
Stand by. If finished, unload and show clear. If clear, close cylinder and holster.
Well, that was 6 foot distance, which was a nice easy one to start the day, but I still managed a bunch of Charlies on it. You'll notice that the reload in the middle was a little bit sketchy, and reloads plagued me all day. I'm using Pervy Partisan factory ammo for the time being, and that's got a pronounced ridge at the case mouth. It's not a problem with the hand loads I've been working up, which are crimped nicely into a crimp groove, but I didn't have enough of the hand loads and wanted to mix more brass. So maybe I'll buy some once fired nickel or something to help stock up on that. I thought this was one of my worst stages of the day, but it turned out to be my second best, and of course, because of that, I forgot to turn my hat camera on. It felt slow when I was out there because it took almost a minute to get through, and it also required some awkward runs and reloads to avoid a flat-footed reload, which you want to avoid when you're shooting revolver or indeed anything. So the MS Paint diagram you now see on your screen is not to scale, but kind of helpful for talking about the stage a little bit. Anyway, I don't remember it very well. I wear the hat cam because I've got a bad memory for this sort of thing. But anyway, there were 4 to 6 shots you had to take from position 1, which I did. I used some of the spares to take a downrange target through the center gap there where the 2 and the 4 are. There were a lot of targets where the clearest view was through that port. 5 or 6 poppers, some papers, just a lot. I took 6 shots to the port, ran over to the left side target, which was just 1 at position 3, to take 2 shots on that target without doing anything else. Then I used the run back to 2 to reload, and those 8 shots that I had in the cylinder then were enough to finish the targets that were easiest to take from position 2. Then the reload on the way to position 5 was enough to finish the stage. The plan kind of fell apart toward the end, but I still finished the stage without any misses or forgotten targets, and it was, as I said, surprisingly my second best of the day. Anyway, all that to say that shooters with a lot of capacity could just run outside the stage, to the left or the right, going, say, straight from position 1 to position 3 or 1 to 5. And I didn't really have that option because of the number of things that were best shot from the middle.
Stand by. Okay, reload if necessary.
Not strictly, but I'm going to anyway.
Okay, next string is 6 rounds freestyle. Are you ready? Stand by. You got it. Okay, reload if necessary. Okay, 3 freestyle, reload 3. Are you ready? Stand by. Okay, reload if necessary. Okay, last string, 6 round strong hand. Are you ready? Stand by. Okay, if finished, unload and show clear. If clear, cylinder close, holster.
This was Baseball Standards, CM 314, and it was my worst stage of the day by a pretty long shot. So it's 4.5 seconds per string. The far targets are at 25 yards and the near targets are at 15. And the RO helpfully told you what all the strings were during the video there. So, if you've seen some of these videos before, you will recall that I am bad at one-handed shooting. That has not changed. I am still bad at one-handed shooting. Maybe I will visit the range one of these days and burn a bunch of the factory ammo I mentioned earlier. Wanted to turn that into reloads and use those for practice. I was at least okay on the 25-yard freestyle target. I was 5 of 6 on that. I went too fast on the reload target, the third one, trying to get the reload in, and I'm not that fast yet. So I should have taken 3 good shots and called it a day. I'm leaving myself a bit of a hill to climb to get my standard C, much less do any better than that. But at the same time, GM run of this classifier is only 75% of the possible points. It's just a really hard one, and tests a lot of skills that I'm not great at. So that's that.
Are you ready? Stand by. It finished and load and show clear.
This one was called Pandemic and was my favorite stage of the day. I liked it because it could be shot in 8-round chunks, given a little bit of creativity. I stopped at position 3 to take a shot at one of the back targets, which then made number 4 finish the 8-round cylinder. And then 5 would have taken 8 shots and 6 would have taken 8 shots. The plan, of course, went out the window when I missed the steals at number 5. I had to take a reload between the steals and the paper targets with the no-shoots down the middle. A little surprisingly, looking at the what-ifs calculator on practice score, stopping to take the makeup shots on the steals was the right choice. Even at the cost of the 6 seconds it took me. It was 7 or 8% better than if I had skipped the steals, like taken 1 shot at each and then moved on to the papers. I looked down at the end because the fault line became the wall base. You can kind of see it actually in the diagram. The fault line ends and then the wall base begins, and I wasn't sure if I was over the fault line or not. It's a habit of mine to put my feet on the fault lines for positioning, and I'm not sure if that's a good habit or a bad habit, but it was a habit that caused me trouble in this case.
Are you ready? Stand by. Finish on load and show clear.
This was social distance, and it was my fastest stage of the day. The middle target in the diagram got removed because it would have been an illegal stage if it were present. It took 16 rounds from one position to shoot, and there was a mandatory reload after the first 8. That makes it a speed shoot in the USPSA rulebook, which is kind of a fun sort of stage you don't see as often as like big field courses. The other revolver shooter at the match today holds a master classification, and I took this stage off of him, so I'm very proud of that. I wasted my best reload of the day, the one after the paper array, which was very smooth. Watching it again just made me smile, by not going 1 for 1 on the steal, which is a little bit sad, but that's the way it goes.
Stand by. Okay, if finished, so load and show clear. If clear, close cylinder, holster, Range is clear.
This is Ventilator. Unlike Pandemic, there wasn't a good way to shoot this one in 8-round intervals. I did use a full 8-round cylinder at one point, at position 3, because I missed the steel the first time, but I don't really count that. The target with the exclamation mark at position 4 I forgot entirely. I'm still getting used to not having extras for makeup shots and having to count very carefully. Coming from carry optics, it's a big difference, you know, with 23 in the pipe versus 8. And now for the final reckoning. It's not as bad as it looks by the numbers, actually. I'm a high C shooter right now, and the other revolver shooter in the match was classified at about 90%. My match score was 66%, multiply that by 90, and I shot this match at a high C level, which is about what I'd expect to have done. The overall percentages make me look especially bad compared to how I actually did. The high scorer was Mark 7 professional shooting team member and number 15 in the world grandmaster Bill Drummond, who won by a full 20%. I got to use my newly acquired RO card a bit. I ran some shooters while the squad's main RO was on deck, shooting and reloading his magazines, which is kind of cool. I took that class back in March before the pandemic stuff hit, and it's kind of already paying off. It's nifty to have that credential. A couple of people remarked that my Moonclip cartridge box, which I've linked to in the description, was kind of cool. I think so too. It was one of my quarantine projects, and it makes the whole revolver experience a lot easier, having all your ammunition preloaded and just dropping new Moonclips onto your belt when you finish a stage. So, things to work on. This is going to be a longish section of this match roundup. The first one is shoot better. It sounds trite, but there wasn't a single shot that I missed after I slowed down and remembered all my fundamentals, at least not a two-handed shot. So I guess I just need to work on doing that faster, and not doing that to start with, if you catch my meaning. Reloads killed me all day. Revolver is to USPSA as shotgun is to 3-gun. Your progress is measured in the number of esoteric reload techniques you know, and the number of reloads you drill. I'm looking forward to having more of my easy dropping hand loads available at future matches. Maybe I'll just burn the factory ammo I have left in practice. And last but not least, I need to wrap my holster hanger in an aced bandage or something. Add some padding somehow. It left a welt where it bumps against my leg, which was kind of a surprising thing to find as I was cleaning up after the match. Maybe a stiffer belt would help? I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to continued revolver shooting, and I appreciate the time you took to watch this video. Take care.